Greetings, Cosmos, and welcome back to Final Fantasy IV DS. Last time I finally finished exploring the Sylph Cave. You didn't really find anything of value to me personally, but I did get a bunch of experience out of it, and that's incredibly important. I'm glad that overworld maps don't have a treasure associated with them, with fully exploring them. Alright, so today we're going to finally enter the sealed cave and proceed with the plot. Hold off the key and the way to the crystal will open. Alright, sealed cave B1. Time to explore this whole thing. Oh. I remember now why I hate the sealed cave. You get too close to a rope without even realizing that it's there, and you'll just automatically go down it. Okay, so I've at least explored this area. Okay. Oh crud, Blaze. These enemies are terrifying. So even though we leveled up a bunch, we're not ahead of the curve. Oh no! They absorb lightning. Hoi! So they absorb lightning. I suspect, without evidence, that they will be weak to water. So yeah, the sealed cave expects you to have already gone out of your way to have done other things, so if you try and rush the main plot, you're gonna have a bad time. Okay. These I can just relax about. Oh. I need to change Rydia's weapon, clearly, because everything in here apparently absorbs lightning? Alright, so you attack. You change from Blitz Whip to Chain Whip, I guess. Alright, Cecil leveled up. 58 strength. Okay, there's gonna be a bunch of these doors all over the place. as said here, they're secretly monsters. Alright, so Rosa, you have one job. To cast Reflect on Cecil before the enemy gets its second turn. Alright. This battle is won. Now, with more traditional versions of this game, you have to know what target it's going to pick. Or you have to wait for it to choose a target before you can choose Reflect. Since I have draw attacks on Cecil, if Rosa happens to go first, I can just always cast Reflect on Cecil because I know exactly who's going to be targeted. Oh. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and summon Leviathan. Jump. Gonna go ahead and cast this. And no weakness. But I did win. Alright. Edge, victory, learn Gale. Huh. Right, I don't think Rydia's picked up Tornado yet. So yeah, Rydia and Rosa have a couple of spells left to learn. I just can't recall all the spells that they get. I know that Rosa gets one offensive spell. One. And if you're familiar at all with Final Fantasy, I'm sure you know what it is. Oh, right. In the original Super Nintendo version, but as far as I know, no later version, made the PlayStation version as well. The instant that you get back from in the Dwarf Castle, from the crystal in the back of the Dwarf Castle, which you lost, if you cast Warp, you'll return to the crystal room, and there will be a crystal there that you can take. Since that's the only chance you have to go in there, you have to do it right as soon as you get out of there. Kotetsu, no. Anyway, what was I saying? Right. So, you know, after you have a chat with the king, you cast Warp to return to the crystal chamber. And then you take the crystal. And then, once you get to this cave, the game checks if there's a crystal in your inventory when you walk up to the entrance. And you'll get the same cutscene as you would otherwise get when you tried to exit. Because the boss here was always wrecking me, yes, this was on easy mode Final Fantasy II, quote unquote, for the Super Nintendo. Anyway, the boss here would always wreck me, and also so would the encounters, I think, and so I just skip all that. Oh. Darn, I thought I had escaped getting blazed. Alright. 5024. Okay, Cecil, the crystal is well protected, yes. Anyway, since then, I find the boss here to be an interesting challenge to overcome, rather than just a insurmountable wall. Oh. Oh, really? Oh well. At least this is a chance to restore some MP because this encounter is pretty simple. I like the mixture of easier and harder encounters, honestly. Like, I often talk about how random encounters should be pretty quick to deal with, especially if there's a lot of them. But early Final Fantasy games took the philosophy that encounters should be a drain on your resources and force you to portion out how you use your resources. And come on, brain, why don't you brain today? I got 6.5 hours of sleep last night. I'm used to getting 10 hours of sleep a night. Anyway, yeah, portion out your resources and maybe even how you handle combats. Like, maybe you run from a bunch of combats because, 3 Gaia drones. Cast Quake. Yeah, what was I saying? Okay, so white magic. Right, reflect is going to be at the very bottom. So all I really need to do. It wasn't intuitive to me to cast reflect. I had to learn about this via other ways, because that nth dimension spell is not a spell that you get, and therefore not something that I would think could be reflected. But also that spell doesn't miss. And if the door manages to cast that spell successfully and not die, it will then follow up by summoning an enemy. Hello, potion. It's a monster door. Okay, so we're done. Dual cast. Come on. Reflect. And SMS. Alright. Then everyone else can just do whatever. I don't care. So in the original version, the fact that the reflect thing worked, A, was a surprise, and B, is another thing that has you considering how to use your resources. Like, do you spend precious MP, or do you just deal with the death and use items, which you have hopefully bought a bunch of. Alright, so nothing in here. Alright, I will accept that and move on. That's no door, it's a monster. So yeah, now I'm just gonna wait. Oh. Does this door have some kind of evasion or something going on? Hooray, victory is mine. Alright, Rydia, level up. 56 intellect. Rosa, 57 spirit. And nothing in here, but that's okay. Defeating the door was its own reward thanks to, you know, the experience. Alright. these bats can be basically left on auto battle. I like how there are some battles that are worthy or easy enough for auto battle, and some that require more attention. Alright, well, ooh, 57 strength. Alright, I'm gonna call it here. So I'm gonna go and save my state. Join me next time when I continue. Wait, you know what? Saving here would be dumb. I might start up and then start trying to go backwards. Here, I will save here. Join me next time as I continue working my way into the sealed cave. You'll get to see more encounters, more doors. Me pondering random encounter design. Is it good? Is it not? Why have random encounters at all? I mean, initially it was hardware limitations. See you then.